Hello everyone, today I'm gonna explain LeetCode SQL solution, a problem names customer who visited but did not make any transactions. Let's see the problems first together. So what we have to do is write a solution to find the ID of the users who visited without making any transaction, and we have to find this one first, and we have to find the number of times they made this type of visits. So we can return the result table sorted in any orders. So there is an example below. There is visit tables and there's transaction table, and this is the output of what we have to print. So let's follow the examples first. So I think this visit table, visit ID is the unique key of this table, and I think this one can be a primary key that can join to the visit table. So for example, as you follow, for example, visit ID number 1, customer ID is 23. And as you can see, if you follow it, its visit ID is 1 and transaction ID is 12. So I think it's okay. But for example, like if you find visit ID 5, customer ID 54, like this, as you can see, there is visit ID 7, 8, and 5 of customer ID 54. But in here, there's only visit ID 5, and there's no visit ID of 7 and 8. So there are two numbers. There are no transactions. So customer ID 54 is no transaction is number 2. Also, we can see other example. For example, customer ID 30, visit ID 4. There is no visit ID, so also 3. There's no transaction, only 1. And let's see, 96 has only 1, visit ID 6, but there's no visit ID. So there is 1 no count transaction. That's the result what we have to print. So I think the main key point is if there is visit ID in here, and we have to compare that one, and we have to compare it if there is visit ID or not. If there's no visit ID, it will be indicated as null. So let's think about the solution together about this problem. So what we have to do, so how are we gonna get that has no transaction? How are we gonna get? The first solution, I think in my head that comes to my mind, I think first one is, first I think we have to left join it. I think that's the first step we have to do, because if you compare this one and this one, and I think that we can join this table using this key, and if there is a visit ID in here and if there is no visit ID there, if it's null, we can find there's no transaction. So I think we have to first do to left join using key is visit ID. And second step, I think, as you can see, it is grouped by customer ID, and we have to count something. Then we have to use group by, and we have to use aggregate function, like count function, like this. I think this two major key point is the key to solve this problem. So let's write a query on the screen together. Let's move on to write the query. So let's write a query first. The first solution that I'm gonna propose you guys, I'm gonna use group by, plus I'm gonna use case when, and I'm gonna count, if it's a null, I'm gonna count 1. If it's not, I'm gonna count else 0, and then I'm gonna sum it. Let's write the query together. So I'm gonna select from, so I'm gonna start with this table, visit table, and I'm gonna alias as v, and I'm gonna use left join. Why I'm using left join? Because you have to know if there is transaction or not. So if you do the inner join, it's gonna be deleted that is not duplicated with visits. So I want to find the null I want to find that visit there is no transactions, so I use left join. I'm gonna alias as t, and the key of this table is visit ID. So v.visitId and t.visitId. So let's see the query. Let's see the result together. What's happening? So this is the result. As you can see, for example, customer ID 30, visit ID 4, there's no transaction. And for example, 54, customer ID, they have visit ID 7 and 8, and there's no transaction. And also 96, visit ID 6, there's no transaction. So I think 54 has 2, no transaction, and 30 has 1 transaction, 1 no transaction, and 96, 1 no transaction. So we have to count it if it's null. So what I'm going to do, I think we can use group by. So I'm gonna do group by customer ID, because that we want to aggregate customer ID. And I'm gonna use case when t.transaction if it's null, then I'm gonna count it as 1, else I'm gonna count it as 0, and I'm gonna do sum of this one as counts no trans. So if I'm doing it, I'm gonna count. Let's see the result together. So my result looks like this. So 23 and 9, they have transactions, so they are 0. And customer ID 30, 54, and 66, they have no transaction, like 1 to 1. So in here, if you want to delete this one, if I don't want to print this one, when you have a condition after group by, you can use having, and there's count no trans. I don't want 0 except this one. So if you do it like this, yep, the test case is succeeded, and I'm gonna submit it. Yep, it successfully worked. So that's the first step, first solution using group by and case when. So I'm gonna do it the second way. This is the same, so I'm gonna do it like this. The second way that I want you guys to propose, the second way is we just count everything, and we're gonna count transaction ID. Then if it will be gonna count only null, like this. So what I'm doing it, as you know, count and artistars, like all the things, it counts nulls, everything. And if you do it like this, they only count that is not null of transaction ID. So we can find only null one. I'll show you guys. So the basic left join is same, and group by is also same. So I'm gonna customer ID, v.customer ID. Sorry, I think that was, we have to do it lower cases. v.customer ID, and what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna count in everything. Let's see the result first together. I'm gonna show you guys step by step. So if you do it like this, they just count everything. So customer ID is 23, 1, 9, 1, 31, 54, 5, 96, 1. But that is not the result that we wanted. We want only the null one, because they are a no count transaction. So what I'm gonna do count. And if I count only transaction ID, that is not null, as you can see, and it will gonna print only the count the null one that are no transaction. So I'm gonna call it as count no trans. Yeah, as you can see, it will show the result. it will show the result like before, and the progress is same. Having count no trans, count no trans are not 0. We want only do it like this. Yeah, test case is succeeded. I'm gonna submit it. Yeah, also it works. And third step, I'm gonna show you guys the third way. I'm gonna just use where clauses, where is null. I'm gonna just use it, and I'm gonna show you guys how to do it. So what I want to do, let's see what's the result of this one. Like let's write a query like in the first one. So what approach we can do, we can just pick one, this one, null, 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 like this. I want to pick only the null one. Then you can just use where clauses. So where I think transaction ID, t dot transaction ID, sorry, lower cases, transaction ID is null. So you can pick only the null one. And you can just group by also customer ID, free dot customer ID, and with that customer ID, and you can just count everything. You can just count everything. It's fine. Oh, let's see the before, because it will be a little bit confused if I do the steps more further. So I'm gonna show you guys what's the result of this one. So as you can see, we only pick there's no transaction ID. So what I want to do, I want to do group by of this one, and I want to count everything, because count authorities can count everything, including null. So group by, I'm gonna do it like this, same as before. Do it like this, and I'm gonna just count everything. I'm gonna just count everything, and I'm gonna call it as count no trans, as cut no trans. Yeah, it also test case is successful, and I'm gonna submit it. Yeah, it also it works. So I'm gonna organize the key point of this lesson. So I'm gonna finish the video. Let's move on to the key point. So let's organize the key point. So key point was, I think the main key point was, how are we gonna count only that is no transaction. I think this is the main key point of this problem. And what we used left join, and we counted only the if the table is like this, like if it's visit ID and this is transaction ID, we only counted that is null, because that means there's no transaction. So we do left join, and we count only that is null. So I show you guys the 3 ways to count null. So I show you guys the way to count. So first one, I used case when, and I used if transaction is null, if it's null, and I did 1, else and do it just 0, and I sum everything of this. So that's the first way to count null. And second one, I use this one. I count everything including null, and I count only the transaction ID. So that I only count that is not null. So it will print only the null thing. Yeah. And third one that I show is we just pick the null, pick only null. How did I did it? I use where clauses. Sorry, I'm gonna delete this one. I'm gonna write it. So I use only where clauses. So I only pick that is null. So where transaction ID is null. Yep. I think that this is the whole key point of this lesson. Thank you for watching this video, guys.